pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Have a public hearing first, and this is about ordinance 15/2023, additional appropriation from the LRS fund.
That's just to help the overflow.
Yeah,
or
I mean,
empty.
just wait for comment. Which they're committed. So we'll close the public hearing, and we'll get on with our regular meeting. Okay, first order of business is to approve minutes.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We moved and seconded that we approve the minutes from November 6th, 2023, council meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we'll move down to council action. No, put that out. Gary, you want to go first?
Can. Heart of Hagerstown, hometown Christmas was last weekend. Bazaar went fine, activities went fine from what I've heard. Gonna try to put out a call in January for people that want to see hometown Christmas be something more than what it is, see what kind of volunteers we get to take on those duties. You know, we all hear every festival, every event we put on, everybody wants more. So we'll see what kind of response we get for somebody or anybody to help do any of those events. Other than that, planning for next year, pretty calm.
Do you think we ought to add the clips as part of you here, or do you want it in another section?
That would be your decision. I don't really have any update on it. You can decide next
Well, I
month.
meant in the future.
Okay.
Okay. Let me know which.
Okay.
Okay, Jenna Grigsby?
Yeah, I'm her husband, Russell, just on behalf of her. So we just, about a month ago, got a new, very energetic canine who loves to run. I do my best, run her around the block. She still has excess energy to bleed. We've been going to the Little League field to run her off leash. I was not aware of the sign until my daughters pointed it out to me. I'm so sorry. Have not been back since. But was just coming here on behalf of our family to see if maybe there could be a trial period of even a month or so. I don't believe the dog has done any damage to the field. It's a tremendous help to us as we're training her. I hope at some day she can be off leash in a, where it's not fenced in, but the park is just, I completely get, I understand the need for upkeep and everything, but I thought if you would at least consider that, our family would be very appreciative, so thank you.
You want to discuss this?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think a good place to let this happen, and I see many people run their dogs down at the soccer field.
Okay.
So do you know where the soccer field is? Basically, you go down Teeter.
Okay.
It's there's a baseball diamond there too, and some soccer goals. I go down there and hit golf balls all the time, and usually when I'm down there, there's usually at least one or two families with their dogs running, and there's a lot of ground to run. So
Great.
that, and it's away from enough traffic where you don't have to worry about that too. So that would be my suggestion, is because obviously we do a pretty good job of upkeep on that Little League field, but down at the soccer fields, I think that would be perfectly fine. And I know I've talked with the park board superintendent there, Mike Beeson, and that's kind of what that park is down there for, just kind of be an open field basically for animals. So if you don't know where it's at, after the meeting, get with you.
Thanks. We moved here this summer and we're loving it, but we're still learning our geography. But question, is it fenced in or is it just an open field?
It is not. That's what I'm guessing was probably
that's
your
the only
issue.
reason. It's just makes the Little League field just so perfect for that reason while we're training her. Again, we're working with the whistle and maybe another electronic device if need be, but for right now, it's really nicely suited for that.
It's the softball field down there fenced?
No, not the.
The only fenced is that one area.
The soccer field, or are you talking about the Little Diamond and the softball diamond?
Is the softball diamond?
Yep.
That would be probably better than the Little League diamond, wouldn't
Well, there is, if you go to the right field side, there is an opening
it?
there.
Oh, there is.
So, I mean, it's,
Yeah, it's on request, I get it, and we just know there's no pressure on you guys, it just, thought,
Would we need fencing?
fence-
To keep all the dogs there, so they don't run out the street.
Is your concern
Most
that
dog
your
parks
dog
do that,
will run away?
exactly, yeah, she's a rescue, and we just don't have a lot of confidence right now.
Gotcha. Right.
Yeah.
No.
She does, we got one.
Why don't you say we'll take it back to the park boards?
you say I need about a month?
Well, I was just thinking, you know, if we could at least start with that, you know, that we'd be grateful for any,
So the
Time
park
we can
board
have.
will meet again
Okay.
in January.
Okay.
So I would say, take that for what it's worth.
Okay.
Just, make sure that the dog is around, that, obviously you're picking up and all that
Yes, sir.
stuff.
Yes.
And then I'll take that to the park board there.
Thank you so
But,
much. Yep.
as long as you take
Okay.
it would.
What about the practice, the Little League practice field at the airport?
Is that completely fenced in?
It's mostly fenced. I think there's only just like 2 walkways that go through, if I remember right, I'm not sure.
So that would be another possibility, probably a better possibility if you're willing to do that. You know where the airport is?
Yes.
Just take Washington, South Washington all the way down.
Okay.
Mike, that's a good idea. So there is a practice diamond out there too that's fenced in. There's
okay.
2 areas that's open for, let kids in and out, but that might be a better place as well. And
Yeah.
also away from, there's nobody out there other than
Okay.
maybe a deer or something like that, so.
Great. Well, we'll definitely check that out. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that big, the horse arena down there?
It's not.
As long as there's
The
no
west
horses in there,
side is not fenced in
But
of the
the
diamond,
bottom fence.
unless there's been one added in the past 5 years. But it didn't go all the way out to the outfield fence. I mean, we park cars in there for
I don't
the
own that
fly-in, and it's wide open
Always
along
got
that side.
practices in there. And this time of year is dead.
Yeah, we do, and I was wondering about that same thing, as long as no fencing.
It's all dirt, maybe not cool, but.
That might be what we'll end up doing.
But it's the
That
bottom
was a
rail.
4-H train.
Yeah, well, yeah, that could be good. No, that's good, yeah, they're too spaced out too much, aren't they?
Yeah, take that field out, take it out, check it out.
Yeah. But, hey Fred, let's look at, Donnie just had to get suggestions. We could probably put up some orange snow fence along that one side,
Yep.
and then I'll see if the guys can do that, but we'll also take it to the Parks Board in case it becomes another
Yes.
issue, or, so
Right.
yeah, let's do that. So
Okay.
we'll see if we can put some snow fence up down there, and if you could,
Thank you so much.
if you could just drop off your phone number at the front counter, just.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Will do. Thank you.
Call for action. Ordinance 15, 2023, additional appropriation, means it's suspended and
Make a motion that we suspend the rules on ordinance 15-2023 for the 20,000 LRS fund.
We moved and seconded that we suspend rules so we may introduce and adopt in one meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Make a motion that we adopt ordinance 15, 2023.
Second.
We moved and seconded that we adopt ordinance 15, 2023. All those in favor?
Aye.
Pass. And Julie passed out the new schedules for meter reads, vacation, holidays, and values. And I don't think we need to act on that.
I don't think so.
If you have any questions, ask them. Okay, and we also have the wage wage and salary schedule for 2024. Since this is the first time you've seen this, we'll have to suspend and adopt.
I'll move to suspend the rules so we may adopt, or introduce and adopt ordinance number 16, 2023.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we suspend the rules so we may do ordinance 16, 2023 in one meeting, introduction and adoption. All those in favor?
Aye.
I move that we adopt ordinance 16-2023 for the wage and salary ordinances effective date January 1st, 2024.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we adopt and introduce ordinance number 16, 2023, effective date January 1st, 2024. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Julie, do you want to explain tracks?
I don't have the paperwork right here with me, but it's part of, from the state of Indiana, it started back in 2017, where they can go intercept someone's Indiana tax refund if they owe on electric or water. And there's other areas too that people can go to, but, and it's from like December to September is the open area. And it's kind of like a collection agency. I mean, we can't do both collection agency and this, but, so it's something new for us. And there's an agreement that you guys need to sign off on. And,
Did y'all read that when Julie sent it?
Yes.
yeah, Adam said it was okay.
It's, no brainer.
Right,
It's a
yeah, it
win-win.
seems pretty simple. So,
So if you're amenable, we need to adopt that resolution or memorandum.
I'm sorry. It was just an agreement. I don't think it was, I had it under a resolution or anything.
So we need to, do we just need to sign the agreement then? We don't really need a motion? Are we just signing it? That
I
we-
guess I can just put in the minutes that you agreed to it.
It's
that you
not
signed
an
it.
ordinance, which is,
It's not on an ordinance. We don't have an ordinance, so.
No, it's just an agreement.
it's right here. It's a memorandum, it's not an ordinance.
Yeah, but we don't have a number.
It's like a resolution.
So you-
almost.
So what's the difference between a memorandum and an ordinance? Should we make an ordinance, should we make?
I can give a resolution. I have a number of those, if you want to do that. I mean, they have a memorandum. We don't do that. We do a resolution.
I think to cover just all our bases, I think we should make this into an ordinance or however you want to call it, resolution number, then we can introduce it. And then I guess if you wanted to,
You don't have to do that.
that's right, what resolution's right, yes, so just.
So it'd be
adopt it.
6-2023 is the resolution number.
Okay.
Which dash is it?
6-2023,
Okay. Thank you.
resolution number. I make a motion that we adopt resolution number 6-2023.
Second.
Moved and seconded that we adopt memorandum 6-2024. All those in favor?
23.
Oh,
23.
23.
It's 6-2023.
thank you. 2023. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Okay, I have a request from the library that we appoint Sandy Campbell as a library trustee on the park board. She's currently doing that now and she's ready to continue. So I just need a motion and second.
Is that an appointment?
It's an appointment, I think you just make the appointment.
You just need to make the appointment.
You just make the appointment.
Oh, is it my appointment?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, then I appoint her. Everybody. Okay, since our town attorney isn't here, we will have to just, we extended for 1 year the same agreement between Jeff Township trustee and us for the firefighter.
Well,
Is this it, Julie?
It's just for 1 year instead of 3 years. Remember?
Everything's the same except for expiration, so 1 year.
is this involving the equipment and everything?
No, that's where they pay us $20,000 a year for the,
I thought we was gonna try to agree upon the equipment
well,
and before we got
that's
in.
why it's just a year.
Because they couldn't get it together, or we couldn't get it together.
I think they're still researching that for the equipment. But this expires the end of the month, what we have now.
This expires at the end of the month, but I've been reviewing it, and there is a couple changes that need to be made on that. So I've got to meet with Chris and have him agree to it.
You need changes on this document there?
Huh?
Is that what you're saying? You need to have changes made for
Yes.
this particular document?
Yes,
So we don't need to do anything with this until those changes are done?
you'll just need to, and really, the Township Advisory Board and you both have to agree to it.
Correct.
Right.
So what happens when this expires by the end of the month if it's not done?
You could just go ahead and continue it until, make a motion to continue the agreement until the new one's been updated and signed.
What did they want to change?
That's what,
What did they want to change on?
is what I looked at, it needed change, because it's nothing, one section is no good anymore, we don't go with that.
So we just need to extend the current.
You could extend the current one
Yes.
until the new one's done, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was the same.
So what is not even used anymore, Rick?
Wait a minute.
So Rick, the question, Julie, I think.
What talks about, there's one section on here, section number 11, on the third page, the final page, talks about the fire phone system. That we are to maintain that, the town, we don't even have the fire phone system anymore, so that needs to be eliminated out of this agreement. The old system with a fire phone is where, when they got a call, it rang into all of our homes through the phone system. And so that's no longer, we don't no longer handle it since we have 911 now. So that needs to be eliminated, one thing needs to be eliminated from this agreement.
Is that the only thing that's bad on it?
As of right now, that's the only thing that I can see that should be eliminated from there, yeah.
So could we not just move to strike that article out of this agreement?
Yeah, you can do
In a
that.
motion and then adopt this for a year? It's basically the same.
Yeah, you can do that, yeah.
I'd be more comfortable doing that
I
than.
did need to get with Chris too, because we cover part of Down Township. Well, Down Township, they contribute to the fund. Well, I talked to Lance a couple days ago, and we talked about a few things, and he said he was able to increase their commitment on what they give to us, and I don't know what that is, because that usually, well, the way Joe worked it out when Joe was trustee, the money that they just give it to the township and it was figured into the
that 20,000 or whatever, but I don't know what Lance and Downton Township has agreed to contribute. So that might change the amount that we're given by the township.
But you don't know that for sure, how that's being calculated.
Well, I don't know how it's going to be calculated now.
Is that something that we can change at a later date?
Oh, you probably, yeah, you can do that.
This is just an agreement, right?
Yeah.
So if we strike out what you're requesting to be stricken and do an amendment and go ahead and approve this, then we can come back with further amendments.
Yeah,
What section was that?
11.
section 11.
Actually, we can go ahead and strike it, and then we can agree to it, but it's got to have
Right, I know.
Other names.
other names signed it.
Right. Right. So can you, are we allowed to just,
I think we can amend that document by a vote, by striking Article 11, or Section 11, and put a mark by it,
Yeah.
stricken on this date,
okay,
approved by council on
yeah,
this date.
okay.
Be my guess.
Why don't you do that? I think you're good at it, but you got it figured out. It's 11.
Have we had any more contact with the township trustee over this yet, or is he still?
He said he's still trying to get all the information for an appraisal on the equipment.
Removed by vote in 2024. And we'll do this, we will have an amendment.
So this, just go ahead and make a motion.
On the township agreement between the town of Hagerstown and Jefferson Township Trustee's Office, I make a motion that we strike Article 11, or Section 11, regarding the fire phone system.
Are you saying phone?
Phone.
Fire phone
Yes.
system. Phone.
Phone.
Then go ahead and approve the rest of it.
We need to vote to approve, remove that, and then.
So I'm going to second that we're going to remove.
Well, I want to see before we. Now, move in second?
Moved in second to strike
It's been moved and
S.
seconded that we remove the fire alarm system by vote on 12/4/23. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Now,
We need to vote to approve the agreement.
I make
As
a
amended.
I make a motion that we go ahead and approve the firefighters agreement between Jefferson Township and Hagerstown with the revisions made on 12/4/23.
Second.
we moved and seconded that we extend for 1 year the agreement between Jefferson Township trustee and Town of Hagerstown. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Coming up in 2025, we're gonna have to make our meetings available on a publicly accessible platform, which we do because of WCTV. But any other committee, board, whatever that meets in this room has to do the same thing. It's just the new state law for open door.
So we have to provide digital,
I'm sorry?
we have to provide digital access to all meetings?
That's what it sounds like.
It's just.
Or just access, like the digital.
We have access. You can walk through the door and sit down.
So one solution is to not meet here. Like park board can meet in the park. but for planning and zoning, that's gonna be a difficult thing.
So, and the interest of the law, are they saying this in any government building or any meeting that you have that is a government entity? I.e., if you have a park board meeting at the park, it doesn't matter if it's at the park or here, or does it matter just because it's a government building?
Well, I know the park board has met in the park garage before.
Correct, I know that, we've actually done it in a couple shelters too, but I guess the question is, in interest of the law, or that the state's putting out there, is it any meeting, or is it just because it's a meeting in a government building? The reason why I'm asking is, we don't meet here, but we meet out there, we still have to provide some type of coverage of it then?
It's something new
Maybe
that
law
we just,
reads, because we, town council, meet in this building right here, everyone who has that meeting has to be here. If they're here, they have to record it and make it available.
That's interesting, I'd like to see what.
So that's 2025, that had to start. I say we just further discuss how we want to get around
Well,
this.
I brought this up because a company has contacted Julie and myself about doing this for us, but we don't know the cost yet. I'm afraid it's going to be out of our
So some
means.
company has basically told the state that this needs to be publicly done, so now they have an opportunity to provide us a business for a cost. Yes, yeah. I think I want to discuss it later.
Oh, wait a minute, I just wanted you to be aware of it.
Yeah,
Too much energy to record it.
Yeah, I believe, there's tape recorder with an old tape, cassette tape we can record, yeah, there we go. We're good.
but you have to get it on the website.
Yep, it has to be public accessible at that
I
point.
think
It's still too new for me. I know the court has to have it too, because they have court
But
here.
they're doing it by tape recorder, just.
But then how are they gonna put it on our website or?
Well, I don't know what website, but from what I understand, they're gonna just do it by the audio recording of it. I don't know how they're making it available,
Making
but
it
that's,
accessible, does that have to be accessible
Right.
on the internet, or is it just accessible? Because it can be accessible, they could come up here and ask for a recording of a meeting that was on that day.
Oh, yeah, correct.
Take a quick look at
I'd
it.
have to look at it.
Yeah. We've got some time for that.
You might take pictures of it, just so I can read it at my leisure, that way I'm not taking everybody's time, right?
I think we already have options available just with our current camera system that we could use for that, just by adding a camera to this room
Does
if we
anyone
need
else have
it
a
to
copy
be.
of this? I can send it to them.
You can send it to me, I'll read it.
Yeah, I know how it's gonna go. Okay, now we are ready for our liaison reports from all the departments, boards, and commissions. And we start with EDC.
Well, we finally had a meeting on a Monday, so I guess unfortunately there wasn't a lot discussed today that affected our area, Hagerstown. I did send you all the meetings or the minutes from the meeting, where you look over. If you have any specific questions, get with me and I'll try to answer them, or at least get with Valerie. But four of us met, a week ago to talk about the value of being involved with EDC, and I don't know if that's something you want to talk about tonight, but I'm learning as I go through this, but that we're giving half of our added money back to the county, but we're not getting a lot of love back from the county for projects we want to do. So what's that amount to? Over $3,000 a month. So I don't know, again, that's not my decision, or just thought you might want to bring that up and talk about it, but I've asked some questions there tonight about if we didn't contribute our half, would we still have a voice on the board? I don't know that answer for sure. They couldn't answer that, so. That worries me a little bit. At least wasn't there to ask for it in person per se. Doesn't mean we can't request money, and Chris knows how to do that from the edit grant, but just thought I'd bring that up if y'all wanted to talk about it or go any further with it. But again, there's an industrial park meeting Thursday that I'll be involved with that may have something to do with Gateway Park, but we didn't have anything to do with that today.
Does anyone have any questions?
No comments on that?
Our agreement's through the end of '24, correct?
Right.
I would agree with Brad. I believe that we just need to understand going forward what we can expect from the EDC going forward. What they think they can provide to our town if we're going to continue to support them other than a place on the board. So
I know Chris has asked for some things. I don't think we've really got much support back, and that, it's frustrating. So that's the only reason I'm bringing that up. That's from you guys.
Topic of discussion at all in any of the meetings?
At the EDC meeting, no.
Because I got a phone call today from Valerie wanting me to serve on a committee about projects.
That she said there was going to be a representative, but I thought it was Chris. That was for the ready money.
Yeah.
What I was talking about is more the edit money, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
You guys
Yeah,
got
That's what they call me for, ready money. Somebody turn it on to me.
She asked for elected official from council, so, yeah.
All right. I remember that, Chris.
Yep.
And I was in that, when she mentioned that, I kind of wondered who that was, because she just mentioned a representative from Hagerstown, and I wasn't aware of that, so. We got some projects that you guys have asked about, at the, down at the auto car, and didn't get much response on that. Is that right, Chris? And not too much help. So again, that $3,000 that we're giving up, we could keep to do with what we want. Am I correct on that?
I don't know.
When I say we, I mean, hey,
Is that a requirement for the edit money to return part of that back to is it an ordinance that drives that?
That's part of the agreement. I think that's every town in the county.
So we get edit money, but with that agreement, we have to return a portion of it back to the.
They don't give us all of it. They give us half. They keep the other half. We don't have to give it back to them.
Okay, so that's not an exchange of money, it's just we're only receiving half.
Yeah.
Now, is that in place? Is that a requirement for us to get edit money for that to happen?
It's part of the agreement, yes.
but wait, did you explain to me we didn't have to agree to that?
Well, I mean, I don't know. We've always had. I don't know what happens if you don't.
I don't think every community does,
Yeah.
like economy and.
Well, I guess what I was asking, if the edit money is funneled to our town from wherever it's being funneled to, whoever that funding source is.
It's a state funded.
Yeah.
It's state funded, right?
But that money is due to Hagerstown, and we're giving up half of it?
Economic development income tax.
Yeah.
And the way I understand it, every community gets
Right.
that or is taxed on it. Now, do you give it back to the county to use, or do you use it in your own community?
And every every town gets a different amount.
Yeah,
A smaller town doesn't get as much, but.
I guess I'm asking, is there an option not to give that money back and still receive edit money?
That's a question to ask them.
I would assume that if the residents of Hagerstown are getting taxed for edit money, then if we don't have an agreement to give it back, why would we not get to keep it?
Yeah, but I don't know how it works.
I
I mean,
don't-
I'm under the impression that we've always done that,
Yes.
so that's, didn't know if that was just a requirement of being a recipient of that edit money.
Well, I learned that from that meeting we were in. I didn't know how that worked, but the way I understood it, the way you guys explained it is, that's an option, whether we keep it or give it up.
Bob, you know something?
I mean, yes, Hagerstown could keep it all and not have a seat on the board. That's what Fountain City does. They had a place on the board in the agreements, but they chose not to have a representative, and they just get all their edit money to them. They don't donate half of it or give half of it back to the county.
Kind of what brought that up was, I'm there every month and I vote on things that really doesn't necessarily pertain to the town of Hagerstown. I feel like I'm a representative of this town. We voted on whether we give $2 million to put housing at the Elder Beerman building, which really doesn't help us that I could see.
Right.
So, again, learning as I go with that, is our position there helping the town of Hagerstown that much? When so far, the 3 years that I've been involved, I haven't seen any of that come back to us. I'm voting on things that doesn't affect the town of Hagerstown per se, at least in a positive manner. Now, the town of Centerville, their opinion was, yeah, that was great. That gives some housing that's close to Centerville, and this is got a middle level to upper level housing, not necessarily senior housing, but and this isn't owner occupied. This is a company that's coming in to develop this ground, tearing it down to the ground and building it back up, and they're giving them money to help do that they think is going to help the town of Richmond. Not really anything to the town of Hagerstown. So,
Not to put more work on your plate.
Yeah.
But is there any way you can just come up with a little, I don't know, what have we asked for and what have we gotten back?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. We've only gotten one thing in the last 9 years, and I've probably asked for maybe not 10, but at least 8 or 9 things, so yeah.
If you can formulate something like that, that way we
Okay.
can at least have our ducks in a row if we decide to do something different than what we're currently doing. Because it does seem like.
well,
I think one thing that I found really frustrating is, I've tried to have them come and meet with different businesses and that kind of thing, and then they say Hagerstown's a bedroom community. I've heard that term a million times. Hagerstown is a bedroom community. Okay, well then help us be a good bedroom community. We've met with them about housing developments, about all kinds of different ideas, and that's gone nowhere. And then, it's frustrating when I hear that they're pouring more money, plus for housing and industry into Richmond, so that's frustrating.
that's what brought all this on.
Yeah.
Chris told me they with a little pressure from not necessarily us, we got some money to help with the sign.
Correct, yeah,
For the
that,
industrial park. But
yes, after a couple tries, yeah.
A sign.
For the industrial park, we need an industrial park sign,
Which didn't amount to a whole lot of money. But
Yeah, I was gonna say, how much money could that possibly be if it's,
when they told me the dollar amount, that shocked me a little bit. When that over $3,000 a month
Oh, that they get?
that we're giving back to them.
Yeah, like 3,800.
So over a 9-year period, and then, I guess tip for tap, what are we getting for the hundreds of thousands of dollars that we've? It's a fair question. I'd just be interested if you just come up with
yeah. Yeah,
something.
I can.
That way we can all be informed on
Yeah,
it,
okay.
make an informed decision. Thank you.
Good. Anything else? Okay. Chamber,
I had a conflict in getting to that meeting, but
I had contacted them.
No, good.
They needed to know how many full-time employees we had, not names or anything, just numbers, and because they base our dues on that, so. has sent them the number. Okay, parks,
We did have our end of the year meeting. Not a lot to go over, just a couple things. They are looking at a new camera system out there. The current camera system, they've never really been able to get to function. So they are looking at a new camera system out there. And then also, they're looking at some informational signs out there that naming the concession stands after a former resident of ours that has now passed away. And then there's also talk of the Little League sign that commemorates the team that went to Williamsport. So, like I said, not a lot that went on, but that was the two main topics in my
It sounds like that's all correct.
Yeah.
So the camera system that we have, is that up and running? Is it recording
There's
properly? I mean, we sat in here for a good bit of time discussing that.
Yeah.
Are we?
Keith and I have the same, well, you might even have more cameras than I do, Keith. I mean, ours is working. Is yours working okay right now?
It is now
He's had to tweak and
since
adjust some
that
things on it.
last repair, whatever they done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't had any issues since then.
Is it useful?
Thankfully, we haven't really had to use it a lot. A couple times that we have, you know, we've been able to go back and look for things.
I think
Yeah.
what we found was the main issue with the park is that without that being 24/7 supervision, they had the cameras at such high heights and there's not real good lighting in certain parts out there, and it was just not the resolution to, you know, there'd be vandalism out there and you couldn't see who was doing anything. Now the cameras here at the town hall and even the ones around town hall are at a lower height, so we have better resolution. I mean, we can make out people's faces and all that. And then I know Keith has some other cameras that are sharper resolution on some poles and stuff around town.
Yeah, I only have 3 that, the majority of our cameras are focusing on like town property. So obviously we don't really need those very often in case, you know, we was to have an issue come up. I have 2 intersections in one of the alleys that are visible on mine. You know, yeah, I've had, I mean, since he's did an upgrade to some of the software part of them here recently, I mean, I'm able to zoom in. I can tell pretty well. I don't have a complaint. I just haven't had to use them, so, you know, I can't speak on that part of it really, which is a good thing. We were having a lot of reliability issues. They kept going offline, but he seems to have got that part of it fixed and really haven't had that issue since then.
anything else? Okay, Keith?
I don't have anything for you guys. It was normal month call wise.
I have a question about,
Okay.
what is the peace officer and what's structure?
Peace officer detail is like if somebody is moving out and they want an officer to stand by to make sure nothing happens, it's peacefully. That's what they call a peace officer detail. And what was the other one?
Structure.
Structure is usually like if it's a structure fire or something, that would be like, structure is anything that would have to do with like a building. If it's a structure fire, it's, you know, any type of a actual building fire versus like a car fire, field fire, etc. Usually that's the only thing that police department would go on that I would think would be a structure type call.
Those are the only 2 that I hadn't seen yet.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of peace officer details lately with one particular incident, so. Yeah.
Okay. Rick?
Yep, you got my report there that I sent you guys today. November was an extremely busy month for the fire department. Plus we did have our second fundraiser of the year. I wasn't in town for that, but my guys did a great job putting that on. Heard a lot of good comments from some of the citizens, and I want to thank the guys that did all that work, hard work and everything, so. And we got 2 events coming up this month. Next week, we're hosting the county fire meeting. It's the end of the year meeting. We always host it down at the meeting place. And then our annual dinner, which will be on the 16th, down at Willie and the Reds. So, and the council has always been invited to that too. Grants, I'm hoping to start working with the guys on the station grant, the planning grant. I'll be reaching out to them. AFG grant, it opens up in January. We still need to decide what kind of equipment we can get with that. That's a 5% match on that. We were looking at a micro grant, which a micro grant is anything under $50,000 or less. One thing that we're looking at is our thermal imaging cameras. One of them is probably close to 15, 16 years old, and the technology on them now are so much better. So we're looking at maybe applying for a grant for those. It's a competitive grant, so we use a grant writer for that. They've helped us the last couple times we've got that grant. So membership, we've added 2 new recruits. They'll be on probation for a few months, 3 months. So, and then we're losing one up there. Mr. Donnie up there has decided he's going to be stepping down, and I want to thank him for all his service. He's been on the department for over 30 years. So and let's see what else. And basically, that's about it. Like I said, we've stayed busy. I hope December's not as busy as what we've been. So, and we've been keeping track. We're receiving more calls to Recovery Works. So I don't think we need to be going on some of those calls out there. So so far we've been out there 25 times this year. I don't think that's going to calm down much soon. But on a second note, I do have another thing. Down here on, I know we've talked about it at the council, discussed it before, but down here on Plum Street, the corner of Plum, that 2-story junk house that's about ready to fall down. Apparently the guy that he's lived there, he's moved out.
Yes.
And if you have been down there lately, I do believe that should fall under a unsafe building. The porches fell in, the roof's fallen in, the fence has fallen down. So I think that, our new building commissioner might need to step in and work with Adam to see what we can do. And the house right next to it's starting to get just as bad. So, I mean, it's an eyesore. It's been an eyesore for a long, long time. So, he's just got some caution tape over like the railing. Any kid can walk up in there and get hurt or, get in the building, just like, down here where their old Tri-County building was open for a long time. This is just as bad, and something needs to be done about that structure. So, that's all I have.
Airport board.
We did not have a meeting in November. We're going to have one December 18th at 6:30. Finalized for the year. Not a lot going on here in the winter time at the airport. Just waiting on a few things from Ad to get back to us with, and that's all I have.
Is that on one of those lease?
Yep, haven't heard from them yet.
Ready for me? Alrighty, the wastewater treatment plant, we have some operations things that we're working through down there, and probably we'll have that resolved by the end of the month. We had a 4-inch water main line leak in front of the wastewater department that our water department was able to repair. Electric department been busy putting up holiday decorations and the new signs up on the rails across 38. I've also been having some more discussions with AEP about our solar project and trying to find if that we'll be able to get eligible for the capacity and transmission credits. That's looking pretty positive, but we don't have anything in writing yet. We've continued leaf pickup for at least the next week or two. That's usually something we end in the middle of December. So if anyone asks, you'll know when that's going to be ending. I've got the street asset management plan all updated and turned back into ITAP, which will make us eligible for more community crossings grants in the next year. I've had some discussions with the American Legion about trying to get a banner program honoring our veterans for Main Street, and I know a lot of other communities have done that as well, so I think that's a really neat thing that we can try to do here in the next year. We have the generator pad installed on the over here by the parking lot for the new generator, and hope we can get that put in before bad weather hits. Still working on the sign permit on the east side of town. NDOT is saying that we need to have permission from the Nazarene Church because they're within 200 foot of where the sign will be located at, so that's what I'm working on obtaining that right now. One thing that Rick mentioned was the blighted housing. I was invited over to the Wayne County EDC to discuss blighted houses in Hagerstown. I came up with a list of 5 that I think would be good houses to demolish, and one of them was the one that Rick suggested as being a candidate for that. Another thing we have going that has been a really quick thing, we were invited by PBS to film a Now Entering Hagerstown series, which they'll be doing 20 to 22 interviews of people here in town about interesting, it could be past, present, future events, and those interviews, we've already had a couple meetings on it. Had one meeting this past week with the community. They will be filming December 15th and 16th. So I'm hoping that we have a good participation for that. Last thing I have on my list there is I'll be meeting with a developer this coming Thursday about potential housing development here in Hagerstown. So hopefully that will go well.
Well, the PBS things are well done.
The PBS things are very well done. Yes, they are.
They did a nice job. We'll come out looking good.
So I hope we come out looking good. The only bad thing about this time of year is, we don't have green grass and leaves on the trees and that kind of thing, so it might not be as pretty as it could potentially be. But I did give them some names of some other people that have drones and have a lot of drone footage of the community that possibly they can contribute some of their footage to for summer or, for other views besides winter. So that's all I have.
It's interesting to watch those,
It
not
would,
just
yeah.
about us.
Yeah.
Okay.
On a side note with that, there was conversation when we had the meeting. So the program is kind of a pay it forward program. So as each town is filmed, they partner with local community sponsors, and then it kind of carries on and takes care of the next town for them. So we're the 18th town, so Elwood kind of paid it forward for us. So they had a lot of interest, it looked like, from various businesses that might give, but I thought it might be wise because one of the discussion points was how well of a resource it can be for economic development of the town, because it showcases the town. So, you can put it up here on the TV here at the town hall when people visit, or, you can loan it out to different communities. And a lot of communities that PBS said they did this for, used it in some way. You can put it on the town website, you can do things for that. So I thought it might be wise for the council through an credit fund or something to provide, a small donation. That way provides the incentive for economic development.
Do we know kind of what the going donation has been?
I think judging from what I was hearing, you have some people that are maybe $50 or $100. I would say most businesses are probably 500, a bigger business maybe 1,000, something like that. So. One thing I think is really neat about our Hagerstown is that participation-wise, we have Jack Teeter, which is Ralph Teeter's cousin, that's going to be flying in from Los Angeles for the filming of it. And we're also going to have Mike Kiefer in Hagerstown, Maryland, that's going to be joining us via Skype. So, it's almost from coast to coast people that are going to be participating in our episode of Now Entering, so I think that's really neat.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a meeting tomorrow night, the Advisory Planning Commission. We might, since we'll use for future planning, maybe we have a budget, maybe we'll talk about maybe, instead of taking it out of the edit, maybe we can come up with some funds to fund that from there to help the town support it some way.
That's a good idea. Julie, you have anything?
I have just one thing. Back in 2019, remember we did the Main Street water project, and we took money from the electric UCR and to help pay for it. And we had a loan for 5 years, and it's paid off.
Good.
This month it's paid off, so
Good.
that's good.
Yeah. Excellent.
Okay, does anybody have any other business we need to take care of? Okay, our next regular council meeting will be Tuesday, January 2nd, 2024 at 6:30. Have y'all had a chance to look at the claims?
Move to approve.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we approve claims as presented. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Move to adjourn?
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.